Hi everybody and welcome back, or welcome rather, to my channel. This is the Savings Sayang. I was originally known as the Budget Baby, but then I did some deep search into YouTube and then found out that there was already a channel called the Budget Baby, but the search didn't come up before I named my channel at first, but it did after. Surprise. So I decided to change it to something that's maybe a little bit more regional, a little bit more personal for me. So savings, we all know. Sayang is a term of endearment in Bahasa. So Bahasa Malaysia, Bahasa Melayu, which is what I speak in Singapore, and then Bahasa Indonesia. Um, is a term of endearment, sort of like sweetie or darling, but it can also be used to express a fondness or a love for someone. So, on this channel, we are manifesting that the savings will love us, that we will be the darlings of the saving world in that regard. Uh, so that's sort of like, I guess, an affirmation, if you will, that I am the Savings Sayang. Um, so in this video, what I wanted to do is to do a introduction to my cash envelope system now that I finally have all of the different things that I ordered, and I could finally put together my envelopes. And then also, I guess, because I missed uploading a video last week, waiting for all of these things to arrive, I'll do a 2 week challenge. Sorry, not challenge. 2 week update on using this whole cash envelope system and budgeting and everything. Yeah, so let's get started. So these are the three things that I have to help me with this new journey of budgeting, cash stuffing, and I guess just like trying to build up my savings in general. So here's my wallet, and then I've got one binder. I would call it like my high priority binder, I guess you can say, and then this is my low priority binder. So these are sinking funds, but this also has my cash envelopes with my day-to-day spending categories as well, and I'll explain why in a bit. Okay, so let's start with this binder. I'm gonna put aside my low priority binder for now. Let's sort of go through this. So on this end, I've got credit cards in the card slots right now, as well as a marker that I use to update the little cards that I have in each of these envelopes. So there's one here, and then my binder has a second pen holder, but when I tried putting in my second marker in there, it just wouldn't close. So I ended up just slotting it in there, and it doesn't really affect the use of it that much. But I got these markers as a set of four. So I've got the black and blue in this one, and then the red and green markers in my low priority binder, low priority sinking fund binder. Yeah, so I've got these two markers in here, and I like them because one end is medium and one end is fine tips, so I can do a fatter writing or thinner one if I wanted to. And the set of four was only $3.90 at Popular, which is the biggest bookstore in Singapore. So you can get stationery, you can get read like books for leisure, and then you've got like textbooks and workbooks for school, and then you've also got assessment books, which are like additional test prep books that you can get. So Popular has a lot of things. They also have like electronics and stuff, so it's like huge, and we love it. So that is that. Then in here, while we are on this, I have an envelope that I tried making out of laminate and cardstock paper or drawing block paper. And this is for my bank deposits. I watched a tutorial by Salisa on Beautifully Me and You. She has a really great budgeting cash stuffing channel. She's based in the US. And she did a tutorial for how to do these mini envelopes and make them clear with like flowers, which was really nice. But I don't have the money to do such nice designs on mine, so I just went with the basic one and sort of applied the general principles that she talked about in her videos. And I made that, so I'm using that for my bank deposits. Okay, I didn't show what this binder looked like, but it came with 12 of these zip top envelopes, and this is an A6 binder, and I basically split these envelopes, these zipper top ones, between my two binders because before I got this, I got super excited and I came up with some sinking funds using like C6 size paper envelopes that I already had at home but I wasn't using. And in this day and age, I don't really send snail mail out, so I was just like, you know what, I'll use these to keep them from going to waste, and I'll just make them into sinking fund envelopes and I'll just hole punch them. Yeah. So let's get into the sinking funds that I have in this binder and then talk about how this then relates to my wallet. So if you watched my budgeting video, you'll know that I have I have 4 categories for regular spending on a daily basis. I've got meals out, and I made this little slip for me to keep track. So some months have 4 weeks and some months have 5 weeks between pay periods for me, since I get paid on a monthly basis. So I decided, you know what, I just put down the amount that I've budgeted to spend for each week. So in this particular week, I set aside, I think it was $50 for 4 weeks because I wasn't anticipating going out very much. So each week I budgeted about $12.50, and of course I can go above or below this, but just to have a general mindfulness for how much I should be spending each week as a ballpark figure. And I think this was a good gauge for me, but then there was some things for some of the other categories I felt like maybe I needed to do a little bit more to help myself. But yeah, this is for my meals out, and then the money would be going into this envelope as well, and I would take it out on a weekly basis so that I could basically control it a little bit more effectively and really be mindful of my spending. On the back of the card, I guess there's a little table, and this was adapted from what I saw Celisa and a couple other people in the budgeting community on YouTube do, which is that they have sort of like a ledger with the date and then how much money goes in or out, and then how much is the total after each addition or subtraction of funds. So I've actually been doing a pretty good job of keeping up with my meals out. So in the first week on the 12th, I spent $10.60 on lunch, and then I didn't go out to eat at all, like on my own. All of the other meals I had were either dates or meals with my family, so I don't pay when I go out to eat with my family. So I only spent $10.60. So I have $39.40 left. But because I have to go back to work in August, so I'm currently on a break. Because I go back to work in August, I decided to set aside $30 for the 6 days of work that I have before my pay period comes. And I usually get paid on like the 10th or the 11th or the 12th, depending on whether it's a weekend or weekday or whether there's like a national holiday on that. And I have 6 days of work because there's a national holiday in there as well, so we get a day off. Yeah, and then also the weekend. So I have right now $39.40, but I have only $9.40 in my wallet for this, and then the remaining $30 is set aside in sorry for that sound. Is set aside . sorry for the sound. Yeah. So the remaining $30 is set aside in this spare envelope that I have. So meals out for school, for work, I guess. Um, because I get paid to go to school. um, for 1st August to 10th August, $30, $5 for 6 meals, and then here you see I have the 5, 10, 20, $30 here. And if you've never seen Singapore currency, this is what our $5 bill looks like. And then this is what our $10 bill looks like. And the gentleman on the front, his name is Yusof Isha, and he was the first, I guess you could say, president of Singapore. His title at the time was Yang di-Pertuan Negara, which literally means the one who is head of state. And the reason why we used that was because he was president or head of state before we had a formal presidency. This was while we were transitioning from like being a British colony into the independent nation state that we are today. Yeah. So fun fact if you don't know anything about Singapore history. Yeah. So that's for meals out, and then that's the extra $30 that I've set aside for work. But because in Singapore the situation is we're in like a semi-lockdown, so it's called phase 2 heightened alert. And what that means is if you need to go out, you can go out at most in pairs, and you can't dine in at restaurants, and you can't go to the gym and take your mask off and work out there. So most classes are outdoors right now, and that's if you want to take your mask off. And then there are a couple other regulations, but because dining out is the biggest thing, like most people have opted to stay at home. Work from home is like the mandatory thing right now. So everybody's working from home. So I'll be going for classes, or going back to work, I guess, at home on Zoom. So that means that if I don't go out at all, I have an extra $39.40, or at least $30 that I hope to have as rollover for next month. Okay. And then date night meals is my next category for spending. So in this one, I budgeted $120 for this month, which is 4 weeks. And then this is where things started to go off track. So in the first week, I was doing pretty okay. I went over budget, but only by like a couple dollars. There was a small margin. And then on the 20th, there was a national holiday, and I thought, oh, I wouldn't be seeing my boyfriend this weekend anyway, since we were meeting on this national holiday. So I spent $20 almost. I spent $19.80. And then we spontaneously decided to go out and watch a movie, and then after that have supper at Burger King. And because it was like there's no dining in, we had to get delivery. So the Burger King meal cost me $16.80, if you can believe that. I know in the US this is probably like a ridiculous price to pay for fast food, but it is what it is. So right now I'm only left with $25.10 for the next 2 weeks, but I also don't foresee us going out to have any meals given the new restrictions. So I'm hoping to be able to hold on to the $25.10, and that's currently sitting in my wallet just in case my boyfriend and I do choose to meet up, and then we go and we get food to go and maybe eat them at my house or at his house, or in the park, which is funnily enough like still allowed. Like you can have unofficial picnics. Like picnics technically are not okay, but some people can't dine at home, so parks are still like reasonable open spaces for you to go and have your meals. Yeah. So $25.10 for my date night meals are in my wallet, and I'll show you that later on. But hopefully that part of that can be rollover as well. The next category for spending is my date night activities. So again, I have the card for it. Each week I budgeted $20, so total for the month is $80. Um, my brother borrowed $30. He needed some money, so I actually will have $43.90 once he pays me back, and he said he would do it sometime this week. But anyway, this $13.90 would be able to tide me over just fine for the movie that my boyfriend and I want to watch over the weekend. Yeah, which is another funny thing. Like, we're under lockdown, but we can still go out and watch movies and things. They still want us to stimulate the economy, but you just can't take your mask off in an air-conditioned or enclosed space, which is funny. So, like, if you go to the movies, you can't have, like, popcorn or nachos or whatever. You can't have any snacks like that, but you can still just watch the movie. So $13.90 set aside for that. And then because I go back to work/school next week, I don't actually really need it. I don't think, but that $13.90 is in my wallet right now. And then once my brother pays me back the $30, that $30 will go in here, hopefully to be as like rollover for next month. Okay, then the next one is money from my boyfriend. And this is so-called borrowed, and it's just because sometimes he doesn't want to hold on to the cash, or he tabulates, like when we split the bill, like after the date is over. So instead of being able to pay him right there and then, I just take out whatever amount and then I put it in here, so I remember, okay, the next time we go out on a date, I bring this envelope and I give everything to him, pretty much. Yeah, so right now there's nothing in there, it's completely empty. Okay, then the last spending category that I have is EasyLink cards. So in Singapore, this is like our version of a Metro card. We call them EasyLink cards. Everybody has them, and there are concession versions for this. So if you're a student, your school will definitely give you one, unless you are in a polytechnic or you are in a university. University, you can get a undergraduate one if you are an undergraduate, but if you're a master's or a PhD student, I think you still have to pay adult fare. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Yeah, so this one I have a total of $80. I don't do this by week because I like to top up like a bulk of the fare for the month, and then slowly add on so that I can save as much money as possible. So for this month, I budgeted $80. I topped up $50 into my card, so I have $30 left over. That $30 is in my wallet just in case I do need to top it up, but I think it's unlikely considering how I don't have to go to work anymore. I mean, I don't have to go to the office, I work from home, so I don't really have to travel, and I'm not going out very often. And if I do go out, usually it's with my boyfriend, and he has a motorcycle, so I don't have to pay for gas because he refuses to let me pay. Yeah, so that's it. So hopefully that $30 can roll over. Yeah, so those are my 4 spending categories. I'm gonna shift over now to my wallet so you can see what that looks like. Since I said all of this money from these 4 expense categories are in my wallet, what that looks like. So I got this wallet from a local brand called Charles & Keith. I really love it. I have been wanting to I've been wanting to buy myself a new wallet because this is what I was using before. It's a little IKEA bag, and this cost $1.50 from IKEA. But it's worn down. It is so busted. There are like holes. So my cards were starting to poke me through the bag. And I've been using this, I think, for 2 years. 2 years already. So I was like, it's time to move on. But I do have 2 more of these IKEA bags, and I will talk about what they're for later on as well. Okay, so but for sentimental reasons, or maybe as an extra coin purse or something, I'm still holding on to this one. Okay, so going back to my really nice new wallet, here's where all the coins go. Okay, so let me pull out a couple for those of you who have never seen Singapore currency. We have our denominations are as follows. This is a $1 coin. I don't know if you can see it, it's a bit too shiny. This is a $1 coin. A couple of those. This is the new design. We had an old design and it's just all gold, but not as shiny. Obviously, it's like a dollar bronzy color. But it's still in circulation. It's just that these are the newer ones that we've shifted over to using. And then these are our 50-cent coins, which is the next largest denomination for coins. And then from the 50s, we go into 20. So this is a new one as well. This is the old design for 50-cent coins. So if you see this 20-cent coin design, there's a 50-cent coin version of this one. And then here's the 10-cent coin. Upside down. Here's the 10-cent coin. Yeah. So this is the new design. There's an old design to it that's also still in circulation, but I don't have any of those in my coin purse. Or maybe I do, but yeah. No, I don't. Oh, I do. This is the old design for the 10-cent coin. Yeah. So those are my coins. That's where it goes. My wallet is still quite new, so it's very new. I got it today, like this afternoon. And I'm filming this now at like 11:30. So I got it almost 12 hours ago. So it's still very new and kind of inflexible, and because all of the coins stick to the bottom, I kind of like give it a shake to plan that out. And then here I've got my cards. This is my debit card. I've got some membership cards from the grocery market. So this is the NTUC card that I was talking about. So this is the membership card that I pay $9 a month for, and it gives me some rebates or cashback when I go to get groceries. And then this is my warehouse club card. And this is, I guess, like our version of Costco, because I know Costco is basically like a giant warehouse and you buy everything in bulk. So that's for us, and you do need a membership in order to purchase. Okay, then I've got my first aid card to show that I am a certified first aider. I've got it's not exactly a loyalty card, but you use it, you top it up and then you use it at one of the food courts that we have in the malls, and this one is for Kopitiam, but there are a couple brands of food courts that are under this particular company. So you top it up and then you get a small discount, and if you don't have it, you pay it in cash or in other modes of payment, then you pay full price. And then this is my IKEA family card, because my boyfriend and I love going to IKEA just to look around. And then we sometimes end up buying like snacks, or sometimes he sees an organizer that he's been wanting for a while, and then he gets that, and I just get discounts. Then there are a couple other slots that I can put cards in, but like if I put it in and I'll forget it, then like I don't see the point in that. So I might slip in like letters and things if I do. So those are my cards. And then the bills all go here. So maybe let me take these out. So this is another loyalty card for Sushi Roll. It's one of the chains of sushi restaurants here. It's from Japan, and then they've opened a couple branches, and then you get stamps every time you spend money. Yeah. But I keep that in there because if I put it in here, I'll forget that I have it, and then every time I go, I won't use it because I don't see it. So here are where my bills go, and then what I did was I printed out dividers. So I don't know if you can see them clearly, but I printed out these dividers. So there's meals out, and then this is public transport, and then date night meals, and then date night activities. So when I'm looking through my wallet, I can just look for the different categories and then say, okay, if I want like my money for date night meals, I'll just push that tab back, then I'll pull out the money that I need. So it's made it a lot. I think it's a lot easier, at least, to mentally or visually like categorize and divide the money, because if I didn't, then I just be freely just spending whatever I have, and then I wouldn't be as mindful as I want to be and need to be in this budgeting journey. So that's how I figured I would kind of build that up. I was also thinking of maybe like making smaller like envelopes that would fit in here, but then I didn't like the idea of having paper that folded, because paper, when it's folded, it wears down a lot faster, and then I don't like bent laminated things, because just the sight of bent plastic to me is really ugly. So I didn't want to do that, so I thought these smaller dividers were like a decent in between to be able to segment my money. Yeah, so it makes it a lot easier, and like I can see it easily. Um, so I quite obviously I like this idea, and I'm glad that I thought about it um, and did it. Yeah, so that's my wallet right now. So that's where the money for all of these 4 categories are right now, except for like the $30 that I set aside for when I go back to work. I'm just gonna put these back in my wallet as well, so I don't lose them. Okay, and then let's get back to this binder. Okay, so in this binder, I've got medical. So far, nothing in medical. I've got Grab rides. Grab is our version of like Uber or Lyft. Grab actually bought over Uber in Singapore, and it was such a big deal at the time. So yeah, so I haven't set aside any money for that either, but because I'm trying not to, I'm trying to just take public transport, and part of it is really just building up discipline. And then I've got the kids, which is the portmanteau of my boyfriend and my name together. So this is for birthdays, anniversaries, our engagement, like if I have extra money that I want to put towards our wedding, And right now I have $30 in it. Then I've got general birthdays, and then under this actually I want to put anniversaries as well, because a couple of my friends, my really close friends, are getting married this year, and I feel like it might be nice to, like give them a gift on their anniversary, especially the first one, since it's the most immediate one that they've had 1 year of happy marriage. And so right now I have $10, and I'm saving for quite a few birthdays. In this later half of the year, there are 8 birthdays, and then there are 2 weddings. And these 2 weddings will be saved under celebrations. So when I was budgeting, I was talking about Hari Raya Haji, and that's already passed. I've already given my $170. So right now I'm saving up for Christmas and New Year's. So it, as well as the weddings. So right now it only has $10, but then over the next couple cash and budgeting videos, excuse me, you'll see me put more money in here. I set aside $140 for one of my friend's weddings, because I'm planning on giving her a bit more. So once I withdraw that $140, then it'll go in here as well, and probably will do that next month. But I'm leaving it in my bank account for now, because I just want to get like interest, and I also don't want to be charged for below fees. Yeah. The next one that I have is emergency. Emergency currently only has $10 in it, but that's because I'm trying to build it up a little bit more and being more conscious, so having it in this envelope is helpful. Then I've got 3 to 6 month expenses, which also has $10 in it. And what I'm doing is every time I stuff emergency, I'm going to stuff the same amount in my 3 to 6 month expenses. And then the last one that you'll see is, sorry, I'm filming this on my laptop and it's very temperamental. The last one that you'll see here is student loans, because I'm still trying to pay it off, and I do have a regular monthly payment that I make of $650, and that is automatically debited from my account. But I'm trying to pay it off as fast as possible, so any extra money that I can spare that doesn't go into my emergency and my 3 to 6 month expenses will go into my student loans folder envelope. And then there's one more envelope that I want to put here, which is for my credit card. So similar to my student loans, it's a debt that I want to get rid of, obviously. So any extra money that I can put in, I'll put into this particular envelope and then pay off that credit card. And I did a pretty good job of bringing down the amount. So right now it's at $888.52, but then there were a couple other things that got charged because I have a couple of stuff that I'm paying for by installment on my credit card. So that will be that. And I talked about this envelope as well already. So that's my high priority binder. I'm gonna put that aside. And then now it's my low priority one. So here are the really cute in a daisy pattern. Here are the two other markers that I was telling you about. Keeping them there. This particular binder came with this free ruler, which I've already used, and it's really cute and very thoughtful. And I can just take it off easily and put it back on easily. I don't have to, unclasp the binder. This one isn't stuck to it because I made this before I got the binder, and I was trying to figure out how to make these laminated envelopes. So this is for Stashaway, my investment. So Stashaway is like a robo-advisor app that you can just put money in, and right now I have $1,950, and I'll update this as more money gets added in. But because it's in the robo-advisor, I have play money, and I didn't bother printing out like regular copies of specimen dollar bills, because I figured I'll do that later on when my other sinking fund binders envelopes get full enough for me to put that in, and it makes it easier to count. Whereas for Stashaway, it's all money that I won't see, so I just thought I'll reuse these, and then once I've used up all of the play money that I printed out, then I'll add the different slips. Yeah, so 1,000, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, $50. Yeah. And in Singapore, our dollar denominations go $2, $5, $10, $50, 100, and then from 100, it goes into, I think, 1,000 and then 10,000. I don't think there is a $500 note. There might be, but I've never seen it. At least not in this particular series of currency with the first president's face. Okay. Then I've got an envelope for buffer. I put it in here and not in my high priority binder because I just didn't want to be able to see it and feel tempted to use the money whenever I run out of money in one of my other expense envelopes. So I just want to put it in here so that I really only use it when I have to, absolutely have to, because I want to be able to save as much money as possible. And if my buffer can roll over, that's really great, because then I can put that money into other things later on. Then I have subscriptions. So in my subscriptions, I have this card, and it has the few subscriptions that I have right now: Disney Plus, Netflix, Google, and then Spotify. And then I put up here when these subscriptions are due, and then the amounts that are due for each subscription, as well as the total. So I've paid 2 out of 4. The upcoming one is Google, and that's $28, and then I've got Spotify, which is $15. And I'll be setting aside funds for that. And then I put the total at the bottom just so that next year in January, when we continue, then I'll just aim to save this amount or set aside this amount if I can, so that I'm all set for that particular year. Yeah. Then I have beauty, and for beauty I didn't put like a thing here, but right now I have a goal of $160. I got a nail package a couple of months back, and I split the payment into two installments, I guess. So the first was $170, and then now this one is $160, and I only need to pay it the next time I go, which is gonna be in August. So like I haven't had the time to just build it up, but I was already anticipating it, so I've budgeted $160 from my next paycheck to go into paying that off. And then driving and riding is a category that I want to have because I do already have my driver's license. I can drive an automatic transmission car, but I haven't driven in years because owning a car is so expensive in Singapore. And then also my parents own one car and they drive that to work, so I don't have the opportunity to use it. So most of the time I just use public transport, or if I go out with my boyfriend and he has a bike that we go on. So I haven't had that, but then I do want to get riding lessons so I can learn how to ride a motorcycle. And then because motorcycles are a lot cheaper than cars in Singapore, kind of save up for one to be able to go to work. Yeah, but that's very low priority right now because I've got bigger fish to fry. Then I've got Mama and Abba. This is why I call my parents. And right now, the money that I pay to cover my student loan goes into my mother's retirement account, because in Singapore you can use your retirement account to pay for your children's education, and then they pay you back in order to make up for the amount that you spend. So I don't give my parents a monthly allowance, which is customary in Singapore, because I'm paying back my student loan. But I want to be able to, like give them small cash gifts, or be able to buy them birthday presents or whatever when the time comes. So that's what this envelope is for. I've got one for treat yourself, which is for like staycations or spa treatments, or anything to treat myself. And this is very different from the next one, which is shopping. Shopping is just for clothes or shoes or whatever, which is not quite the same intention as treat yourself, though you can argue that shopping is a subset of treat yourself, I guess. And then the last one that I have is miscellaneous, and this is for whatever else I might want to spend my money on that don't fall into any of these categories. Yeah, so that's my cash envelope system as it stands right now. So low priority binder, high priority binder, and then my wallet. And then just to quickly finish us off before this video gets too long, because it's already hitting 40 minutes. This is the IKEA bag, one of the IKEA bags that I got, and I've set this aside for the $1 challenge. So at the end of the month, you will see me put any rollover dollar coins into this bag, and then once it gets full, then I'll do a clear. I'll put it into the bank just to see. And I talked about the new $1 coins, and this is an old $1 coin. So it turned out I have one of these. Yeah. So that's the old $1 coin. So I have $1 in here right now, which is great. And then just to remind you, this is what a new dollar coin looks like. Very different. Old one has a flower on it. New one has our national symbol, the lion, and then also number 1. Yeah. Okay. So that's one of my two IKEA baggies. So this is for my $1 challenge, and then I've got another one which is for the coins saving challenge. So any rollover coins that aren't the $1 denomination, I'm going to put in here, and then I'm just going to let this bag get full, and then once it's full, we'll do a calculation, and then I'll put them in the bank, and yeah, do a close up from there. So this is my second video as the Savings Sayang, or rather my first video as Savings Sayang, and this is my second video on my channel. Thank you to whoever is watching. I really appreciate your support and following me along on this journey, and I hope you stay for the ride. Thank you.